Dr. Walter McManus is an economist with the University of Michigan's Transportation Research Institute and the director of the Automotive Analysis Group. Ford Motor Company announced that one of the reasons why they were showing profitability here of late is because of their new batch of fuel-efficient vehicles. And so you sent out a press release that said, "I told you so." So I wanted to talk to you about that. What did you mean by "I told you so"?
Well, the research that we've been doing at the Automotive Analysis Group for the last 6 years or so has focused on how just a little bit improvement in fuel economy would be beneficial to the auto companies. And in particular, Ford Motor Company, our finding was that 2 miles per gallon, if they increased their average fuel economy by 2 miles per gallon, that they would be profitable. And in fact, since we came out with those findings in, I believe that was 2006,
right.
They have been fastest to improve their fuel economy. I mean, partly because they didn't go bankrupt, so they had more resources.
Right.
But also, Alan Mulally really wanted to, to get the fuel economy improvement because he believed what they said. I mean, what Bill Ford said, and that was important. And so he started bringing the new vehicles or European vehicles to North America before GM and Chrysler got around to it. So that's what I mean that we told you so. That we is my printer making noise, so I'll turn it off.
Yeah, no, you're doing fine.
But so we, I've been involved trying to help Ford understand this. I mean, I've met with them, I've talked to them, and so it was very gratifying to see that they
did that, yeah.
Agree, or that they are certainly acting on it and they're taking credit for it.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's great. Let's back up here just a minute then. So, in 2006, you came out and said, look, if you guys improve fuel economy by just 2 miles per gallon, which seems, really sort of a trivial number, when all things are said and done, you're going to be profitable. So Ford Motor Company, what was it that they did? Was it just simply the fact that they started introducing their more fuel-efficient European platforms here in North America, or were there technology improvements in the engines, or what?
Well, there was the engine as well. I mean, I think they call it the Ecotech. That's GM. Well, yeah, okay. The Ford Ecotech engine. They're expanding the use of that across all their platforms eventually, and that improves fuel economy. They can downsize the engine and still get the performance that consumers want. And so, I think it was both. It was both introducing the smaller vehicles, smaller engines, and the improvement through the Ecotech.
So, and this is one of the things that you see them advertising is, for example, Chevy, which has developed the Cruze and is using a European developed, I think 1.4 liter engine. They're building it here in the States now, but I think it was developed over in Europe. They advertise, these companies are advertising that these cars are now getting hybrid-like fuel economy, 40 miles per gallon. I guess my first question is, are these cars really getting, does the Cruze really get 40 miles per gallon, or is that just, so much hype on their part? Well,
what you have to remember is that they're all, when they make any claim like that, it's all based on the fuel test, the fuel economy test that EPA runs for them, or, sorry, they run for EPA.
Right, yeah.
Under EPA's guidance.
Right.
So nobody gets 40 miles per gallon. I mean, it's, they always say your mileage will vary.
Right.
But 40 miles per gallon is what they, what they get in the test.
Right.
And I believe it's even after the adjustment, because I think what they're saying is what they're advertising is the window sticker. And the window sticker is always a little bit lower than the official test. Okay. So, but when they sometimes I think they use whichever one may make them look better. Like the Prius, I remember when they their more than 50 miles per gallon.
Right.
That was the test, not the window sticker.
Right.
And so I think the, you know, that's what they're advertising. And again, you know, there's been a lot of argument over the years that the hybrids or alternative vehicles, fuel vehicles, don't, that, you know, the gap between what they actually get on the road and what they say on the window sticker is wider than for the internal combustion engine. And I mean, I think that makes sense, although I'm not sure it's true, but it would make sense that, you know, we know more about the internal combustion engine. It's been around over 100 years.
Right.
So, you know, so there is a gap. And you know, but the gap is there for hybrids as well as for the Cruise. So if the Cruise is getting, you know, officially 40 and a hybrid is getting officially 40, I think they both probably get about the same by the same driver in real world driving.
Right, right, okay. How much let's talk about some of the engine technology, because obviously there's things that they can do with lightening up the vehicle, downsizing the vehicle somewhat. So I think a lot of the improvement that we would have seen here is probably in improvements in combustion technology and in the engines themselves. How much headroom do you see that they still have for improvement in the internal combustion engine before they sort of reach that point where it costs more to get those last few improvements in miles per gallon than, you know, than they think the customer is going to be willing to pay?
Well, the thing that's surprising about the internal combustion engine is that it's, you know, it still has been, I mean, it's been improving for 100 years or longer. And in the past 20 years or so, it's been improving at about, I don't know, 1.5%, 2% per year, which is incredible when you think about 100-year-old technology improving that much. Yeah. And that says that, you know, they really weren't going for fuel economy when they were making the improvements. And so I think a lot of the room for improvement in fuel efficiency is giving up giving up some of the other improvements like performance, size. I mean, if you look at you know, when they talk about how it's been improving 2% a year, it's based on ton miles per gallon, which means bigger vehicles are hauling more ton miles per gallon, and so by you know, downsizing, I mean, to put a smaller engine in a vehicle, it can be done with turbocharging and technology that already exists. So I think there's still a lot of room for them to improve the fuel efficiency, but they will. You know, it will be at giving up some of the larger, like V8 engines in a vehicle that could take a V6, V4 in a vehicle that could take a V8, 6, so on. So I think that downsizing of the engines can continue for quite a while. I mean, I think they still have a lot of room to improve, you know, trading off performance and size of vehicle toward fuel economy.
Okay, so I guess sort of the bottom line is there still is some room here, not only just for improvement, but for that engine to be around for a while yet. Just simply by, you know, they've already got a built-in infrastructure. By, you know, making these improvements here and there within the engine, we keep gradually improving it. So it's sort of stretching out its lifespan and life capacity, as well as the capacity of that infrastructure that built that engine then.
Right. Well, and I think also stretching that out is the hybrid electric vehicle technology. Right. Because, you know, it adds some things that like the stop-start, something as simple as stop-start can save 17% of the fuel. That so you get 17% of the fuel that's right now lost to just sitting in traffic or sitting at a stoplight. If we can eliminate that improves our fuel efficiency 17%. So I think you know, the EV or the electric vehicle components that are being used in hybrids are helping to extend the life of the internal combustion engine.
Right, and do you see, I think what I'm seeing here is this shift where we're beginning to see more introduction of that start-stop technology that's relatively inexpensive to implement because we're only talking about a relatively small battery pack. Excuse me, it's some generator, technology that's, maybe adds, $500-600 to the price of the car.
Absolutely, and I can't. I mean, I know this month at least one of the auto companies announced that maybe it was GM is going to use the stop-start technology across their entire lineup. And,
oh, yeah, I hadn't seen that.
Yeah, and I mean, at least they're going to begin that process. And,
right.
And again, it's like you say, it's a relatively inexpensive technology, and it will extend the life of the internal combustion engine. And so yeah, the stop start is a big thing. The other, other things that are in there, the downsizing of the engine, not necessarily the vehicle, although they are doing that too, and turbocharging. Turbocharging is very common in Europe.
Yeah.
Hasn't been so common here because we all like Americans like the throaty V8, not the
right.
6 with turbocharging. But I think, I think that'll change. That can change easily. I mean, I think most consumers don't understand what is a Hemi engine. I mean,
I don't know.
What's the other thing they always talk about? The dual overhead cam. What's a cam?
Right.
In the first place,
right.
What's a dual, and what does overhead mean? And who cares? It's
exactly.
marketing. So
when I step on it, does it move out, and how much does it cost me to fill it at the gas tank, at
right.
the gas pump?